Patrick Hannan, in first edition last Sunday, inquired into the origin of some local and regional words and expressions. He instanced daps for plimsoles, which in my youth were called sandshoes. In his discussion with Professor Gwyn Williams and Roy Roberts, we heard examples peculiar to various parts of South Wales, including the valleys.
When I spent a little time at school in Hertfordshire, no one had a clue what I was talking about when I asked for a pair of daps, the footwear immortalised in Gren's cartoon pub, The Golden Dap. Eventually I learned to call them plimsoles, only to be rehabilitated when I returned to South Wales. But why are they called daps at all? Could it be the noise they make on a stone floor? And what connection do they have with the expression, "that's about your dap," often used contemptuously to mean that something isn't at an appropriately low level? That, on the other hand, might come from dapping a ball, again perhaps onomatopoeic and included in the sense of bouncing in at least the concise Oxford Dictionary. Then there's an interesting word like cwtch, which means or can mean a cupboard under the stairs, but also means to cuddle. That's to say, cwtch up to me, an expression you might, when small, hear from your bopa, who, of course, is your auntie. Now, I ask these questions because I hope avid students of such arcane matters might help me out with further examples and explanations. Some derivations do seem obvious. Coppish, meaning the fly of your trousers, might well come from the English codpiece. To tutty down is likely to come from the Welsh word tut, which means small, in South Wales at least, since to tutty down really means to make yourself small. Now, all this might seem like a load of bosh, a word that's derived from the Turkish and means rubbish, but which I associate with a sink. Now, does that second meaning, I wonder, come from the part of the blast furnace known as the bosh? Some people find this sort of thing papish, which means easy in South Wales. Others would see the subject as a real Brahma, meaning a superb item. A word, I suspect, that must derive from the Indian Brahmin, while others might simply say, "oh, gold watch," indicating that they think there's no truth in what I say. Still, if I can have a hanch of someone's apple, in other words, a bite out of it, then I can go for a spell on the bed, a short sleep. Not that I do so before having a swill in the bosh and removing my ganzi, that's to say my sleeveless jumper. Special meanings of words can create great problems, although the example I've got in mind comes from the north of England. There, the word while is used to mean until. So, when signs were put up at level crossings saying, "stop while lights flash," some people waited for the lights to come on and then tried to drive over the railway lines. With disastrous effects in some cases. You may have noticed that these signs now say, "stop" when the lights flash.